Alright, you guys, what it is. So I am back again with another video. And today I decided that I wanted to cover the Demon King. I've been working on this video for a few days. And mainly I wanted to cover this video actually a lot sooner, way back like months before when the Demon King first made its appearance known and began their first battle. But I kind of realized there was another battle that came after that in the manga. After, you know what I'm saying, while we was reading, I was like, I'm just gonna wait till the series is over because I have no idea exactly what's gonna happen. So I am very, very excited to talk about this because a lot of people downplay him, a lot of people overhype. I just want to put my input on this. With that being said, of course, there will be spoilers, so you have been warned. Click off if you do not want to be spoiled. Now, I am kind of need to apologize a little bit. It has been a little over 3 months since I've actually made a 7 Deadly Sins video in general. And I do apologize that the main reason for it was kind of just because of the whole Chaos arc and I wasn't really feeling it. But maybe I'll make a video about that, kind of ranting about why that was just a pretty bad ending. But we ain't here to talk about that. I just want to apologize for that. We're here to talk about this other stuff going on right here. And I am here to talk about the good old-fashioned Demon King, okay? The Demon King is an extremely powerful being that was created by the entity Chaos along with the Supreme Deity and the Fairy Tree. Now, these are really powerful beings, and as much as people tend to downplay the Demon King, like I said, he's a lot stronger than what people give them credit for. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of here to put my input on it and really explain to people exactly why the hell he's not trash or fodder or anything like that, let alone he's not just country level. And I'm about to go into it right now. So one of the biggest things that we know about is the 10 Commandments, where he literally split his power in half and then split that half into 10s and gave it to 10 of the demon world's powerfulest soldiers. Now, the commandments are easily scalable to being around country level. Some of the weaker ones being like small country with someone like Zeldris, Estarossa, arguably Moonspeed being more like that mid to large country level. They're easily extremely powerful beings nonetheless, and they still are fodder compared to what Demon King is. Another thing that comes with the title of being Demon King is he's also able to command and make even Endura kind of control them, make them servants of him. Enduras being extremely powerful beings that even demons fear. A power so great that when Moonspeed and Derriere went into their Endura form, they actually caused, or actually able to effortlessly body all 3 archangels, because Maya was not there, but able to body all 3 of them quite easily. And even that still is nothing compared to his actual first creation when he actually created the original demon known as the Sinner. The Sinner is also a demon stated to have gained half of the Demon King's power, at least at the time, which is probably over 1,000,000 years ago. But he is an extremely powerful entity that scales well above all of the 10 Commandments and even all above the Archangels, considering even Ludoshel, being the second most powerful Archangel, felt absolutely helpless against him. And even still, when he tried to dethrone the Demon King, he was essentially defeated and split into 2. One of those 2 being Chandler, a extremely powerful sorcerer who just his appearance alone will cause true night to appear because his dark miasma is just that powerful over an entire country, as well as Cusack, who is seen as comparable or rival to him, who focuses more on swordsmanship but is also still extremely powerful to the point that he was able to sword battle and even outpace even Ludoshel. And even by Zeldris' standard, Zeldris even stated that with those 2 alone, yeah, having the 10 Commandments is absolutely unnecessary nonetheless, considering they weren't answering him. The Demon King, like I said, is also still seen as being above all of them. Even with their combined efforts, they still feel the Demon King is much, much, much more powerful. But I do understand that there are people who probably have watched YouTubers, no offense, but I watch his videos all the time, but like Broku and stuff, who tend to say that the Demon King is only country level because it took the 7 Deadly Sins having their limits removed and stuff, and striking them with a country level attack, as least stated by Zeldris. But that is a complete misconception. I even addressed a little bit in my debunking video. The Demon King is well above that. In fact, he should really be around multi-planetary level. And the evidence for that is the fact that even both Bond and Meliodas both, one of the main issues, or one of the main statements anyway, or issues of the final half of the manga, is the fact that Meliodas has reached Demon Lord status, and his power is too great for the world to handle and is going to destroy itself trying to reject their power. The same Meliodas also being, like I said, comparable to the Demon King, and the Demon King himself even states that yes, once you have, or since you have awakened to your Demon Lord power, you cannot stay in the mortal plane. Though, like I said, that's the Crunchyroll translation. I did look at this manga pan as well, and it says a little different, but that's only because Crunchyroll won't let me screenshot stuff. But it still basically says the same thing, whether you want to say a day or just the simple fact that you just can't stay in the mortal world. It still fits the same bill that, yeah, their power is too great to the point that they cannot stay in the world before it will literally destroy itself. And it doesn't make any sense for it to be just country level or Britannia, because we do know that in the world of Seven Deadly Sins, there are other worlds out there, such as the fact that Nanashi even blatantly states he comes from a world far from Britannia. So we do know there are other countries, and he is even dressed in more like Japanese type getup. So that doesn't make any sense for them to just be Britannia level or country level in this sense, especially when there are other worlds out there. It even makes more sense. It's basically like saying, if you remember when Vegeta was going to use the Final Flash against Perfect Cell, how Trunks repeatedly said, "Oh, Father, you're going to destroy the Earth." Even though it was stated numerous times that even Saiyan Saga Vegeta can destroy the Earth. So are you going to say that Super Vegeta, who is ascended above the Super Saiyan transformation, is still only planet level? No. It's just simply, it's the scope of what the characters know. You know what I'm saying? So Zeldris only knows Britannia. He hasn't been around to the other countries, anything like that. So he only knows Britannia. And the attack was easily enough to destroy Britannia. So of course it makes sense. It's just the same situation as in Dragon Ball when they say that they're going to destroy the planet or destroy the Earth, even though they should be well above that. It works in the same situation. Even if you try to downplay it and say, oh, well, he's only going to, it's more like a life wipe ability. Because it, you know, if you take Bartra's showing or the Arthur showing and Bartra's statement, then you could simply say, oh, well, it's only called a natural disaster, so the world will be inhabitable. So it's more like a multi-continental threat. That still doesn't change anything about them being planetary at bare minimum. Keep this in mind, that is still a multi-continental threat. Just with them existing, they're making a life-wiping threat being multi-continental just by existing. Both Meliodas, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm saying Meliodas a lot, but Meliodas, the casual guy, just by his existence, just by walking on Earth itself, is causing the entire planet to become destroyed. The Demon King is in the same boat as a state, as he even said to Meliodas, like, yeah, the world doesn't need two Demon Lords, because as soon as he appears, it becomes even worse at a quicker rate. So yes, these characters, just by existing, not even trying to. So just picture like this, okay? When I said that they're doing this casually just by existing, not even trying to destroy the world, and they're still multi-continental at bare minimum, picture when you walking down the street and you happen to like step on an ant. Okay, you're not trying to, you're just walking, going about your daily life, maybe on your phone, maybe drinking something, you're just chilling. You step on an ant, the ant is dead. So yeah, you might have killed the ant, but were you actually trying to step on it? No, you were just taking a normal stroll, using your normal walk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So you still managed to destroy the ant. But imagine going through that same scenario, but instead of you actually just walking, you see the ant, you're like, nah, fuck this, and you go into your whole Rick James, and you just begin to actually stomp it. The difference between, yeah, you still killed the ant, but the difference is the force that it took to kill the ant. You either walked on the ant versus stomping it is a completely different mindset. And that's exactly how it is for the Demon King. He's stepping on the ant in this case being the world, just by walking, just by existing on that plane of existence in that, on Earth, he's already causing natural destruction. And he's doing all this without really even being anywhere near his full power. And I'm about to go into that right now when I say that he's not at full power. I know a lot of people say, yes, he would. No, it wasn't. So the first instant that we see him go in, we're here, like I said, yet again, he's still not at full power. is when Meliodas, of course, takes the commandments into himself, finally goes through the process, and he becomes the Demon King Meliodas, which was a badass transformation, by the way. It looked really badass, but it aged himself up and stuff. And this same Demon King Meliodas, who's nowhere near his full power, and is still strong enough to the point, like I said, just by existing, the world is still coming to a end. Just by that alone, which still means that just existing is still multi-continental without even trying. The same Demon King Meliodas then proceeds to casually, just by saying, "Oh, but I am a god," and then flexing a little bit, create a storm so powerful that all of the sins, including a full-grown winged king, Diane, Merlin, Mael, Mael, and Ludashel are all standing there, and they cannot do a thing against the storm that is stated that is so powerful, so widespread, and even is producing a toxic miasma to it that states that no living being can actually even exist in it. You know, except my boy Bond, because he's been in purgatory, which is, as he's put, much worse than this. On top of that, he not only did that casually, he also, casually by the way, managed to form what is known as a Sage of Shining, which he can literally create to bombard people with these massive explosions that he literally does casually. And it isn't just a one-time effect type ability. No, the Sage of Shining literally just launches a bunch of Predator missiles, just launches these missiles down, and it just causes these at a rapid pace. He can just machine gun fire these, basically. And this is extremely, extremely impressive when you keep in mind he's doing all this while battling both Bond and Meliodas. He's battling Bond on the outside in a physical contest. And we've seen that when he's beating Meliodas in the Mindscape in a battle against Wills, he's able to easily and effortlessly beat the shit out of a purgatory Bond. But when he's losing to Meliodas, it becomes more of a even battle. And he's doing all this while being not only at full power, but also being weakened by fighting both of them on both planes. And we know this because when we later see him when Cusack, after barely surviving, I should say, Mael's one blow, and he takes over, put the commandments in Zeldris is not fighting back at all. Zeldris is stuck in the mindscape and is in a dreamlike state and not rejecting himself. And we see just how different he is when he's blatantly stated by Meliodas to be much more powerful than he was the first time. And the same Zeldris, by the way, even though the body is stated to not be as compatible or a little bit off, it's still a threat to the world. And then this same Demon King then goes on to possess even more power when he's regaining himself standing on the lake and actually goes through multiple forms. The one being when he gets his armor-like plating and has the 10 Commandment symbols on the front of it, which forces Meliodas to power up as well. And of course, most people's favorite, including my own, when he actually gains this extremely huge stature, or really more huge stature, more like Escanor in the one mode type stature, and has this whole black outline and this badass katana and long hair. It just looks badass. I feel like I don't really need to explain it. Which then, that same form of him is actually able to take on a Demon King Meliodas in assault mode, a Purgatory Bond, the one Life Force enhanced Escanor, and a Full Wing King without taking practically any damage at all. In fact, it's constantly stated repeatedly that he is unscathed. It was only Escanor in the one mode and Assault Mode Meliodas and them that were able to put slight damages on them. Now, this is extremely important as well. Like I said, it just builds into the fact that it shows that he's easily multi-planetary, even if you're trying to lowball him to multi-continental. But even without his extreme power, which is, I still, like I said, at bare minimum planetary, he still has the abilities that he instilled upon the commandments. Now, we only know about 5 of them so far, but even still, just with the 5 that we do know, they're still pretty impressive curses that he can apply on top of it, as well as boost his power. One of those being Galan's the Truth commandment, which means that literally if you lie to him, you are instantly turned to stone, such as how Galan was in Merlin. You also have Esterosa's ability of the Love command, which means anyone that bears any hatred towards the Demon King will become paralyzed and unable to fight. So anyone that has hatred towards him will just be stunned there and allows him to basically one-shot him for no reason. And you also even have Melaskula, you know what I'm saying, Snake Girl. You know what I'm saying? Her faith commandment, which means that if you literally deny faith, if you deny your faith in front of Miss Melaskula, or just in general, because she didn't do that with the old guy, you have your eyes burned out, just fucking retarded. You also have Zeldra's piety ability, which literally the curse for that, if you turn your back on them in any form or fashion, whether it be in fear or just in spite, whatever, will cause you to be literal a slave for him and become subservient and mind controlled. Though he's shown the ability to turn it off. He also has Grey Road's ability as well of the Thou Shalt Not Kill commandment, where literally if you kill in front of the Demon King in any form or fashion, the command will activate, or he can activate the command, whatever, which will literally steal all of your remaining time and essentially age you up to the point that you die. It's ridiculous. The Demon King has all of those commandments and should also be unaffected by him, considering he's lied to Meliodas in the Mindscape and has turned his back numerous times. Like, he's done all this stuff and seemed to be unaffected, which makes sense. He created the curses and the commandments himself, so it makes sense that he wouldn't even be affected by them, even though the other commandments are, which is kind of like his checks and balance system to make sure he doesn't have another sinner problem to revolt against them. Now, this is more of I believe he should be able to, but it's not confirmed. But he could also use the ability or use the commandments in the same way that Mael did when he was possessed by the commandments, when they were all whispering in his ear, essentially, to tell him, basically controlling him and kind of corrupting and telling him what to do. Where he was able to use like the love commandment to enhance his ability and create a massive burst of energy that caused a massive explosion. He could use the smoke of impurity, which causes anyone with burdens or any form of guilty thought, what seems like, to be weighed down by those burdens. Also, Galan's Bell of Truth, or using the Truth Commandment, or using it in a way to literally dispel any illusions to always show a true sense of mind. It's possible, but it's not necessarily confirmed. He can also use, or not really also can use, but he has the ability in his most prized possession, the Ruler ability, which is basically inverse. Any attack that you did, any damage you deal to him, essentially becomes absorbed, heals him, and even gains him more power. And any damage that would normally kind of like take, or like if you try and take his energy, it just steals your energy instead. But it also has the reverse effect of, if you give him energy, it'll weaken him. But he can turn his magic on and off at will. So it's kind of hard to really predict exactly when he's going to use his ability. But it pretty much makes any attacks towards him pretty much null and void, because it'll just boost his power up even more. So easily, with all of these powers and abilities, and being the fact he's already a multi-planetary threat, bare minimum, or really planetary threat bare minimum, but I'll, just lowballing, it's easy to see even without that, he still has so many commandment and curse abilities that he can use, commandment enhanced abilities. He has so many other hacks abilities as well, such as the Ruler, that can easily put him on a extreme, pretty high tier pedestal when it comes to battling against other characters and other verses. So he is no pushover, and it just honestly makes sense why he would be the ruler of demons. He is ridiculously broken, and he was extremely cool to see when he actually goes into battle. And I'm very excited for the anime to animate that. Hopefully it ain't like the last season though. So with that, like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you disagree, or even if you disagree or agree with me in any form, feel free to comment down below. And I personally, I'm willing to debate this, because I'm very passionate about Seven Deadly Sins. It is my third favorite anime. I enjoy it. So if you have any disagreements, complaints, or just want to tell me, hey, I agree with you wholeheartedly, I'm always down to comment with anyone in the comment section. So feel free to. And my last announcement is I will be doing a Kaguya video, and I will most likely be doing a Demon King versus Kaguya video. So if you don't, be on the lookout for that. The Kaguya video is definitely be upcoming within the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. And until next time, you guys, peace.